is this front office kind of feeling? What are your thoughts right now, knowing that you guys could not come up with?
Obviously very disappointed. We worked very hard. The motivation is still there. Confident that every thought, idea we had, every dollar, that we had was communicated. So, but we're obviously disappointed to not have gotten that done. Doesn't change our desire. We will certainly be motivated and remain motivated.
When you say remain motivated, will you continue to reach out to Vladdy's camp to try to get something done?
We'll be respectful of his wishes. We'll never close any doors.
Ross, Vlad said that you guys, or from his perspective, you guys never got close. How would you describe the gap between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, what I can share is that we had a lot of dialogue, a lot of exchanges that felt constructive and productive. We learned a lot. We felt like they did as well, and went down to the wire.
Did you feel that you guys were close at any
It
point?
just depends on how you define close. It's just that's too big of a word to talk specifically about, and I'm not comfortable talking about numbers.
Did you believe there was a bridgeable gap, or do you see? Did you feel that there was no pathway to a deal as the negotiations were going?
Well, I'm confident that we exhausted the communication, the ideas, the thoughts, and communicated every dollar, and felt that Barry and Vladdy got to the point that they were comfortable as well. It just wasn't close enough.
If close is too ambiguous a word, how would you characterize the gap between the two parties?
Not close enough, in order to reach an agreement.
Ross, was there much movement, like when you think back to when these negotiations really started through the off-season, was there much progress made from that initial point that you feel good about, or how did that move along?
Yeah, like I said, it went down to the absolute wire, and then even, Barry asked for some more time after the 9 o'clock deadline. So, and, we're never going to close any doors, remain open, and we learned a lot and felt as though they did as well.
Well, Vlad also said he potentially wouldn't close the door either. So maybe what does this deadline really mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think Vladdy means that he wants to focus on the season, and he will do so. So we will respect that.
Ross, I think one of the things that fans are going to struggle to understand is you guys are in on Ohtani, you guys are in on Soto, top 5 payroll.
Mm-hmm.
Resources don't appear to be an issue. So if resources aren't an issue, why is Vlad not signing?
Yeah, I mean, it's every deal, every situation is different, and we always have had incredible support. How you come up with a value and are willing to reach, certain thresholds, you have to stay disciplined to, and you have to stay disciplined to the fact that we are running a business.
What would you say to fans who think that you were able to offer a lot of money to Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani, who did not want to be here, but Vlad did want to be here? How do you kind of reconcile that?
Yeah, well, the offers that we made for Vlad would have been record-setting and would have been made him one of the highest paid players in the game. So we were, in our view, very aggressive.
Ross, are those Blue Jays records? What records?
Yeah, highest one would have been one of the Blue Jays records, and would have been one of the highest paid players in the game.
Do you look at his value more based on him as a first baseman, or what offense he can bring? Like, what factors do you look at? Because first basemen traditionally haven't gotten.
Yeah, he's a great player. We love everything about him, and first base is he's a strong first baseman and one of the best hitters in the game. Certainly top 10, and for someone his age, you could argue top 3 or 4.
Russ, how do you, in terms of your valuation, how does what Vlad means to the competitive window that you have right now, the fact that you don't have a sort of carrying player in the system coming in the near future, how does that get factored into how you put a value? Because it's certainly, there's an opportunity cost to not having Vlad here, potentially for 26 and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, certainly feel as though we have good players that are coming, and Vlad is special, and we'll remain motivated to keep him here is how we're focused on it now.
Is there anything you, learned from these negotiations you might apply toward the winter when maybe you're going to try to get him back in the fold again, or how challenging will that be just given the open market situation?
Yeah, I mean, we learned, I think both sides just learned a great deal about different avenues and different ways to solve problems.
Russ, how do you balance your own valuation and discipline and all of that versus something that might be a moving target like this, especially as he reaches free agency when there will be a lot of other teams involved there?
I mean, really, it's just about challenging and interrogating our own process, our own thoughts, our own evaluations, and making sure that we're making the best possible recommendations for the future of the organization.
Is this something that had to get ownership involved in a more active way, or was it something where you're getting pre-approvals? Like, how involved late in the process?
Very, very similar and involved all the way, involved from the beginning to the end.
Can you see a scenario where, hey, we just can't reach a point, or your mindset has to be, we are going to bring him back one way or another?
Well, I mean, I as the GM will always make recommendations that are similar to the way that I've articulated them prior. That the way that you've articulated something is something that would be out of my control.
Ross, it's also not just Vladdy, it's Bo, Bassett, some other guys as well. Are you concerned at all that the contract situations of a bunch of guys in there is going to become a distraction as the season goes on?
No, our group it's a very good group of teammates, and they're extremely focused and extremely poised. I'm excited about that group that's in there.
Ross, as you think back to sort of the negotiations, not just this current set with Vlad, but over the course earlier in his career when you tried to lock him up, what role do you believe maybe the shifting of markets because of the Tatis contract, because of Soto contracts and the other contracts that have taken place, what role did they play in the negotiations?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely play a role. Everything is information, like you and I have talked about a lot.
Did that complicate things for you?
No, I don't think so. I think that's, you process everything as it comes in and continue to learn and stay open-minded.
Do you have a message for Blue Jays fans going into the season, knowing Vladdy may not be here long term?
Yeah, we are motivated for him to be here, and that will not change. We will continue to work hard on putting him in the best possible position to be successful and focus on winning on a daily basis and remain motivated for him to be here.
Does the fact that you couldn't come up with an extension, does that open the door a little bit more to trading him come the deadline?
I mean, obviously, if you have an extension, you decrease the likelihood. But no, we are not. We are focused on him being a Toronto Blue Jay and winning a World Series.
He said he wants to be a Blue Jay for life, Ross. What's your confidence level with that one?
Well, the confidence will be an effort and desire, which that is there. But it always takes two, and we will remain motivated and work hard to do everything we can to see if it can happen.
Ross, without an extension in place, will you entertain negotiations for a trade before the season begins, or would this be something that would...
We feel like we have a great team. Vladdy's a very big part of it, and Vladdy will remain a very big part of it.